talking a little bit about Giving Tuesday, especially Crypto Giving Tuesday, which is a new event that's popped up in the last couple of years. I think it started as Bitcoin Tuesday and then, Crypto Tuesday. But Giving Tuesday itself as an event has been around, as Art will tell us, for a while now. But it's interesting to see it popping up in the crypto community, kind of at the same time that crypto communities are becoming more thoughtful around philanthropy, and there's more avenues and venues for folk who have done well in crypto to give and support charities. Charities are getting their crypto wallets and connecting with services such as the Giving Block to make those donations. So today we wanted to talk a little bit about, Giving Tuesday generally, what is it? And then maybe some of the stuff that's happened around Crypto Tuesday, in the crypto sphere. So maybe to get us started, Art, would you share a little bit about what Giving Tuesday is in the charitable communities broadly and maybe how it got started?
Sure. And it is very much, by the way, in line with the theories behind the creation of blockchain and cryptocurrency, by the way, which you'll hear me get into in a minute. Also, there are two very good podcasts that I've done that you should listen to. One is with Henry Timms, who was one of the creators of this, and Asha Curran, who we recorded yesterday. You can get hers. Maybe you can put that in the chat, those two links.
Sure.
But they really go into great detail about the origins of Giving Tuesday. But what I'll try to do is just give you a brief overview of what I've learned from them. And you can certainly listen to the podcast. I hope you do and get more detail on it. But in talking with both Henry and Asha, what I learned is that Giving Tuesday started at the 92nd Street Y in New York. And it was, the thought of it was to try to find ways to inspire people to give. They were thinking at the time about the holiday giving season and how there are these days in America, holiday giving, mostly focused on consumerism. But they wanted to also have a day focused on giving. And so when they came up with the idea, Henry told me that they quickly ran to get this name, Giving Tuesday, registered. And they did. He said, because I don't want anybody else to do it because they won't do it as well, maybe. And that was the creation of it. But what they decided was that they wanted this to be a distributed giving day, meaning that they did not want to control the day. They wanted to inspire giving in any way, shape, or form that could happen. They wanted to create a movement around giving on that particular day. And so they put this hashtag out, Giving Tuesday. And by the way, this is about 10 years ago. And went to different organizations, went to the media and others, and began launching, with the support of the 92nd Street Y, this Giving Tuesday concept. And the idea was that people could give online because they really wanted to encourage online giving. And because they were so free in how they let people use the moniker Giving Tuesday, they got to be very creative. And every group that used it in a way that benefited them. They weren't being boxed into using it in a particular way that would require any special recognition going back to the creators. Anyone who used the name Giving Tuesday was free to use it in any way, shape, or form they could. And over time, this really caught on. And, the original reason, as I said, was to try to build something in the United States around this notion of giving during the holiday season, right after Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and it was a Cyber Monday. well, you had Giving Tuesday. Well, in the rest of the world, there is no, many parts of the world, there's no such thing as Black Friday. But there is now a Giving Tuesday, and it's the same every day around the world. Since that, though, lots of money has been raised, and what I discovered 5 years ago, Giving Tuesday spun off from the 92nd Street Y and created its own organization, which Asha Curran is now the CEO of. And Asha tells me that they not only work on getting people to give and to give, wisely in some ways on Giving Tuesday and to create this distributed movement, but they've created now this institution to track and monitor and to also help us understand and maybe give even more in the future. So they're doing different things now with data and information to try to make us all better givers as well. So that's the origin of it. And as you can see, this distributed idea of using this concept very much aligns with blockchain, which is let's eliminate whatever we can with intermediaries. Let's create ways for people to connect directly with the causes they care most about, way that is meaningful to people who are actually doing it. We sort of did the same thing, and I mentioned that in the podcast with Asha. I mentioned Give Safely because these two are very much in line with each other in this notion of disintermediation, giving people options that will allow them to connect more directly with the organizations and with the causes that matter. So that's what I would say for right now about it. But please check out those podcasts. I think you're really going to learn a lot.
Excellent. And Elizabeth just put the two podcasts in our Discord event chat. So they're linked there for everybody to visit. And I really like what you were saying there, Art, about it being kind of a distributed idea. Because, it very well could have been that an organization came up with an idea like Giving Tuesday and then tried to make it their own and just hold on to it and, have the focus be on them and promoting themselves. But, that the Y thought to kind of spin it out and then turn it into this kind of organization focused on the broader good for the charitable community and, for people at large. I mean, let's face it, we all want to give, we all want to do good in the world. We just sometimes need help finding ways to do it well. So to be able to connect with an organization like, Giving Tuesday and have them, keeping track of the growth of this charitable sector and, the events that happen on Giving Tuesday, I think that's really, really valuable.
Yeah, I agree.
So in the crypto space, just kind of looking at some of the news that's been coming up in the last few days, there's definitely been a growth in donations that have been happening. I think, where is it? One of the organizations that's been accepting crypto donations for a really long time is the Donor Wise Fund that sits at Fidelity. And they said, for example, this year, they've received over $274 million in crypto. And that's nearly 4 times the record that it set in 2017 of 69 million. So, just as kind of a waypoint to show that crypto donations are really growing. Granted, the folk giving through Fidelity Charitable, they're folk who have donor advised funds set up. So they may be a little wealthier than, the average donor. But, it's the sector is really, really growing, really exploding that way. There was news that Gemini, one of the major exchanges here in the United States, just enabled donations on their platform. And this was facilitated by our friends over at the Giving Block, but they unveiled Give Back with Crypto feature back in February, and that's been live, and you can donate to over 300 nonprofits and whatnot. There's been the growth of kind of NFT auctions that go to charity. I know, for example, Jack Dorsey, the former CEO of Twitter, he just stepped down, I think, this week, but he sold his first tweet as an NFT and donated the proceeds to charity, earlier this year. Along those lines, speaking of NFTs, another group that we're friends with and we're building a relationship, Doing Good, they launched their platform this Tuesday on Giving Tuesday, and what their platform is, it's a community of it brings together communities of creators, of charities, nonprofits, and of purchasers around NFTs. And the way it's set up is that anyone can choose to mint an NFT on their platform or auction an NFT on their platform. And when they do so, they can designate how much of the sale price they want to go to the cause, or the charity, the nonprofit of their choice. So it's pretty interesting. There's a minimum amount that has to go to a nonprofit, but then it's really up to the creator, the person who built the NFT, to decide. It could be 100% goes to charity, it could be 50%, and whatnot. So it's interesting to see like kind of the architecture being built for this, like their name, for doing good. That people want to do good when they're selling their NFTs, but they want to have that kind of that easy access to be able to do it. Like on their platform, you'll be able to select which nonprofit you want the proceeds of that percent of the sale to go to right there. And we're going to be listed on them, and we're going to be working to bring our accredited charities, the charities who meet our 20 standards on, so that donors, the creators who make the NFTs and sell them, so that they can choose these trustworthy charities to give to as well. And we were on their call yesterday, and they were talking about their launch and whatnot. It was really great. Elizabeth, you were on the call too. Did you have any thoughts about the platform and its launch?
Well, the platform was absolutely beautiful. They've put a lot of work into it, and my thoughts today continue to be what they were yesterday, and that's full of excitement about this project. The idea of creators being able to connect with a cause and build back this community of promoting social good or doing good is just pretty thrilling. For me as an artist, I create art every day, which means I have way too much art. I would be thrilled to give some of it away and let it be auctioned off to benefit causes that I care about. And there are a lot of causes that I care about. So that brings me back to one of the things that I'm excited about as far as Give Safely goes, or the give.org, is we're going to have a presence on the Doing Good platform, like Ezra said, and we're going to bring in those accredited charities. And the reason I like that is because in this crypto space, there is known to be a lot of opportunity for scams. And I don't think it's anybody's doubt that scammers are going to hop on the charity bandwagon in the crypto space, the meta world, just like they do in real life. And that brings us to the purpose of give.org and why it's going to be important to have a presence there and in the metaverse and different places that we're going, so that we can present charities that we vetted according to our 20 standards, and present them and introduce them to this whole new generation of crypto givers and crypto donors. And that's so important to me, to be able to help create the metaverse and develop the metaverse as a safe place to be. Safe on so many levels, but particularly in this context. trusting that the people who we are going to be giving our funds to are actually going to use them in the way they say that they're going to. So yeah, I'm real excited.
I'm so glad you brought that up too, because it's one thing, from what you said, there's what I heard was well, a number of things, but among them two things is one, we want to be there to help educate the population, folk who may have done well in crypto, or younger folk who just want to give in crypto, who don't have experience giving to charity in the past, to help them find the trustworthy charities, help them figure out how to think about giving and philanthropy in general. But then two, like you said, to kind of help build the space, create the architecture for the space to make it easy to identify which charities are trustworthy, which ones have a good presence in the metaverse, are their wallets actually tied to that charity and whatnot. So I think it's exciting to be kind of tackling the problem on both ends, kind of one on the education side of things, and then two on building the structures and being present in the metaverse as it grows, as it changes, to have our voice and represent all of our charities' voices in there as well.
Couldn't have said it better.
Indeed.
So I noticed this afternoon that our friends over at the Giving Block published some data and statistics on what happened on Giving Tuesday in 2021. So yesterday, and granted, there are other platforms out there like in Given, they do great work too, and it may be that some donors give directly to charities' wallet addresses. So this may not. This is definitely not, all of crypto giving, but it's a sample. Because I know the folk over at the Giving Block, they have over 600 nonprofits that they've set up crypto giving for. So I'll walk through kind of what they shared on their Twitter, and of course, please visit their Twitter to see the full statistics. They're at the Giving Block, and maybe we can have Michael or Alex or Pat or one of them come join us and talk us through this at some point. But just to share it now is so they started out saying that the nonprofits that they represent raised over $2.4 million on Giving Tuesday, so yesterday. The most donated cryptocurrency was Ethereum, and the fastest growing donated cryptocurrency was USDC, the stablecoin. They shared that the average donation size was $12,600. So that's pretty impressive. That's not just $5-10 donations. I'm sure there were some of those, and they were offset by larger donations. But $12,600. That's a pretty substantial size. They said that over 1,000 nonprofits participated in this year's Crypto Giving Tuesday, a stunning rise from last year's 120. So that definitely speaks to growth. Growth in the sector. It seems like the charity community is really waking up to the need to be present in in the blockchain space and be able to receive crypto donations. They shared that the average donation size increased 20%, so up to it reached 12,600, and they shared that this is 98.4 times higher than the nonprofit industry's average donation size. It's pretty impressive too.
That's
in 2020, the average crypto gift was $10,500. Let's see what else they share. Yesterday, they raised more than, again, all the nonprofits who use their service raised more than all of December of last year. So that's pretty amazing. Total Crypto Giving Tuesday donations grew by 538% from last year's. So last year, let's see, I'm trying to see the number here. Let me expand it. Okay, so in 2020, it looks like they raised between $400,000 and $500,000. And then, in 2021, it was over $2.4 million. So that's a huge growth just for Crypto Giving Tuesday, for Giving Tuesday. So, it seems like drawing attention to the day and the concept of Giving Tuesday that was started back, as Art said, in the 92nd Street Y, it translates well even into the crypto space, bringing this focus. Let's see. Last year, Bitcoin was the leading crypto donation category for Crypto Giving Tuesday. This year, Ethereum stole the throne, and it was a little more over Bitcoin.
Ezra,
let's see.
can I interrupt you?
And then, they have a list of partners that they thank for making it possible. And, they say, hey, let's keep it going. They have this concept of a bag season where, it's the end of the year, how much you've made with crypto and to continue that generosity through the end of December. Art and Elizabeth, is there anything that stands out to you about the numbers that they shared via their Twitter?
Yeah,
I think the gift size is the one thing. I mean, I think it's really impressive that people are giving that amount. But on the other hand, there are lots of people who've done very well with cryptocurrency investments and probably feel that this is a good way to share some of that with people or causes that matter to them. So it's great because it's probably much higher than the average gift size outside of blockchain. So it may be a place where we come across, extraordinary opportunities to earn money, find us a way to give it back. So that's great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, I think the absolute numbers and the growth year over year is pretty stunning to me.
Yeah.
From between platforms are catching on, and the medium is catching on.
Yeah, exactly. From between 400 and 500,000 last year to 2.4 million. That's huge. That's huge growth. Elizabeth and I were on a call, a webinar that the Giving Block folks did for Charities to talk to them about their service and whatnot. And they shared like, hey, once you get into crypto, you don't have to redo all of your fundraising strategies. Stick with what works well now, but then add in a little something for crypto. And you don't have to do like super targeted, pandering type stuff. They didn't use that word, but you don't have to go overboard. Just have a good landing page saying, hey, we accept crypto. This is how you can give to us, and then make the announcement. Just put it out there. Hey, we accept crypto, and the crypto donors will find you. You don't have to put a ton of effort because they're out there. And what that says to me is like, yeah, there's that willingness in the crypto community to give back, to do good, to do well, and there need to be those kind of avenues and pathways to be able to make those gifts. So Giving Block is doing a great job with that. But then also, we want to help make sure that the gifts are going to trustworthy charities. So that's where our work comes in. With Give Safely, on our platform, where we list charities who only meet the 20 standards, so that when you're giving through Give Safely, that all of the charities listed there, are trustworthy. And we're working, with folk at the Giving Block to see how we can incorporate, them into our site and us into their site in various ways. Elizabeth, was there anything that stood out to you about the numbers?
Yeah.
Is this a surprise, or would you've been in the crypto community for so much longer than us? Is this a surprise, or does it track kind of with what you know about the crypto community?
Well, it's not really a surprise. It's a partial fulfillment of expectation. Those of us that have been around for a while have been looking at the numbers, looking for adoption, looking for use cases. And from that perspective, it's a really exciting number. And if it grows out exponentially every year, the sky's the limit. As far as the numbers for generosity go, the average contribution, it takes me back in my thinking to how it's important to create a safe space for people here in the crypto world, because one of the statistics I heard recently is that the average cryptocurrency owner has an average annual income of $170,000 a year, which is a little higher than average here in America, and makes them sort of a ripe target for bad guys, right? So I'm thinking about that, about how important it is to provide this service of vetting charities. But the other thing that I had to say was actually a question, Ezra. We heard the average donation size, but I would like to know if there is any statistic about how many transactions that involved or how many wallets.
Oh, good question. Well, let's see. Total raised. I put up the calculator here on my computer. Total raised 2.401 million, so 2,401,000. Average donation size 12,600. So I figure if I divide that by that, that gives me 190. So
no,
that would be 190 gifts made up the 2.401 million. Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah, we divided by the average gift size.
Yeah,
Yep,
but it doesn't tell us, because there could have been 2,000 transactions, $5 offset by one. So I'm just curious to know the transaction number, because that would reflect the number of people actually using it.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, yeah, excellent point.
Yeah,
there could have been, $1 million $1 donations, and then 1.2
right.
$1 million donation.
Yeah. So.
And by the way, one of our board members donated via Give Safely this year too.
Oh,
really?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah.
Nice.
Julie let me know the other day it came in that way.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's really great.
It's interesting because we're growing this Give Safely platform as an iterative process in degrees as we test the market and evaluate things and onboard charities. But I think that we are getting close to being able to ramp up and deliver that service in a really robust way for people very soon. So that's good news.
Mm-hmm. And I think, it's exciting for those of you who are listening after the fact. Right now, we're in Cryptovoxels, which is one of the metaverse worlds that live on the blockchain. And we're in a space that our organization has purchased. So thanks to Art Taylor and Elizabeth, our board member, Elizabeth Mung, who came up with a vision and approved the purchase of this land space. Now we have a place for people to come to learn about giving, to learn about philanthropy, and to connect with trusted charities. And we're designing it so that we can continue to hold these meetings every Wednesday afternoon here, but then also, other events, and, we'll have a lot of information about charities and about Give Safely and whatnot here as well. So think of it as a place to come to drop in and chat with us as well.
Can I ask Art a question? Art, in a casual conversation, you and I mentioned how really kind of cool it would be if you hosted your Heart of Giving podcast from here in the metaverse. Is that still on the table? Is that still a good idea?
Absolutely. I would love to do that. And actually what I'd like to do is see if we could record the podcast in Cryptovoxels. So I'd like to maybe do a podcast on this type of giving via cryptocurrency using Give Safely, and actually record it and do the visuals of it on Cryptovoxels. So people could actually see what's happening on Cryptovoxels while we have the conversation.
That would be
So,
exciting.
you know,
Let
the
me help
podcast itself would be audio, but we would do a video version for YouTube and one that we could link to from Give Safely. So people could actually see the whole thing if they wanted to. I think that would be fantastic.
That
And would educate people on the potential of this as well.
Yes, yes. It's so exciting to observe the development of the metaverse and to see more in real life organizations come in to this space and represent themselves as organizations, legitimate organizations here in the metaverse for our avatars to participate in. We've been here for over a year in the meta space, but interestingly, the Malaysian government, I think it was, has actually entered into the metaverse as well. So it's not just
Awesome.
Snoop Dogg and his friends. There's a lot of people jumping in to learn.
Yeah, not surprised. And it will continue. Whenever Bob Johansson says, pay attention to something, I do.
Yeah.
And Bob says, pay attention to meta. So I'm on that, you know.
Absolutely.
Meta is the world where we need to really begin plugging in. That is the new opportunity. And to do it in a way that aligns with, you know, good values, give people options for communities that they can join and really feel like they're with people who have at least certain values that matter to them. You know?
I'm not sure what it is about this space, but in a lot of the conversations, it's really interesting to observe that a lot of people actually do bring their values into the space. And you can learn a lot about a person in spite of the fact that they can decorate their avatars any way they want, just by those conversations. Yeah. So, yeah.
Exactly.
And speaking of Bob Johansson, Art, you have a 2-part podcast with him. And I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but it's on my definite listen to list because he was on that the call for our 20th anniversary party and talking about the future and talking about the metaverse and talking about the need to be there.
Yep. He's it was quite a surprise for me to hear Bob say that, although it shouldn't be. But you know, we're just having our conversation about things relevant to charities today and in the future. And at the end, Bob mentions Meta. You know, we ought to be focused on the metaverse.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, well, you know, we kind of are.
And a big smile went across my face. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're already there. You know, we have some opportunity. We've been meeting there at different times, and we haven't acquired the space yet. But as soon as he mentioned that, I was thinking we need to get our space now. So what you're seeing is our space in the metaverse. We're going to continue to build it out and have meetings and gatherings here and conversations with people who are interested and who want to learn. Yeah. And see if over time we can create spaces for charities, you know, sort of a public space for charities to come and talk about what they do with people who might be interested in knowing.
That's right.
So many great opportunities here, even for things like the Wise Giving messaging, the wise giving information that we can put out. We can build into Voxels a library where people can come and gather pieces of information on giving. We can even have different charity leaders come in and talk about why their programs are so important and how they're going about fulfilling the cause. So there's so much we can do by building this community. We can invite people in who want to become wise givers and give them a badge of sorts or a key to come at any time they want, because they're now wise givers. And the information to share that information with others. So
yeah,
so much we can do.
And Elizabeth introduced us to that, well, me to the idea of POAPs, which are basically participation NFTs that you can give people. So let's say, everybody who comes to our Wednesday meeting can get a little, a little badge saying, hey, I attended a Give Safely meeting. And, they'll be able to share that with other people, put that in their wallet and remember, oh yeah, I'm a member of the Give Safely community. I give wisely. And other people can ask them, hey, what's that thing, that it's hovering over your shoulder in Cryptovoxels? Oh, that's my Give Safely badge. Wait, how did you earn that? Well, I attended a webinar in Cryptovoxels and learned about, giving to trusted charities and how to do it in the crypto world and whatnot. So there's just so many opportunities out there.
Indeed.
Also, the idea of quests has popped into the front of my mind. This week in Cryptovoxels, they minted a new island that actually has basements. And I purchased one of the parcels, and if you start digging, you can find artifacts that can grant the owner of that certain privileges and powers and things that are yet to be determined even. And so the idea of actually having a quest for a buried treasure somewhere is pretty exciting.
Indeed, yeah.
And maybe to get the clues for the quest, they would just need to find an answer to a question that they can only find if they read an article on the website. You never know.
Yeah.
It looks like it's neat. When a member of Cryptovoxels is, just kind of wandered through and is working on joining the channel. Yesterday, Elizabeth and I were having a meeting here. We do, almost daily meetings just to talk about the programs and moving Give Safely forward. But one of our neighbors stopped in within, Cryptovoxels, and he showed us the building that he had built and that he's planning to, list NFTs there and potentially donate the space to artists in the beginning so that they can list their NFTs. And, we started a whole discussion, which is pretty neat. So it's also been a cool space to just kind of interact with people that, that we might not have had contact with on our regular channels on Twitter or on our email lists or on our regular YouTube videos. So to be able to meet people kind of where they are has been pretty neat too.
Yeah.
It's definitely a new way of socializing, but it has so much more potential. That is good. I'm gonna go and find our new friend here.
Well, we're at 3:15 now. Were there, any final comments that anyone wanted to share or any thoughts?
We just got Marley Trades in the Discord. Let's see if they can join in the voice for a minute. We can at least welcome them.
Oh, wonderful.
Just
And for everyone who's listening, I'll describe that Art Taylor is wearing black skinny jeans, a blue Give Safely shirt with the Give Safely logo on it, and a Santa hat. So for all of you who want to see this outfit, definitely come next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'm wearing red shoes, also black skinny jeans, and yellow Give Safely t-shirt with the logo. And Elizabeth, I'll let you describe your outfit. But just to say that all of these outfits have been designed by Elizabeth herself. And she's not only a board member and advisor to us and a person in the crypto world, but also an NFT artist and a very, very talented one. If you could see us, you'd be able to see all that. But how would you describe your outfit, Elizabeth?
Well, it has like a medieval cage skirt, a tube top, literally. I've got some spiral decorations on my neck and legs, and I have a plumed helmet that in a different world might be metal, but now it's just voxels. And I wish I could say I was wearing some Give Safely bling, but I didn't have a costume outfit with that in this account today. So I'll have to work on that. We will be placing some of this Give Safely bling in this parcel here as we build it up. And it will be available to people, maybe as giveaways, but a way for you to show your support for give.org and Give Safely. And yeah, and maybe, yeah, we'll see what happens. We have some, we'll let you know when it's there.
Very exciting. Cool. Oh, that looks like our DGen Voxels friend is moving out of the room now.
Okay. Let's see. So is there anything else about Giving Tuesday that's really stood out to us?
I don't know, Art, how do you think this Giving Tuesday, for the overall charitable community was different than last Giving Tuesday? In addition to all the new crypto movement that's happening, are there any other trends that you see happening?
I don't know about trends, but I think the pandemic has maybe opened up people's hearts and wallets in ways that might not have happened before. I mean, Asha pointed out that there was a 25% increase in giving the year before, in the first year of the pandemic compared to the year prior to the pandemic. So if that continues, it'd be amazing, but who knows, you wonder if people get fatigued. You wonder a lot of things. You wonder if people are hurting financially and not able to do as much. Mm-hmm. But don't forget too, that just like with the crypto donations, larger people are carrying the lion's share of giving. Larger donors, that is. And I think we've certainly seen some mega donors out there that kind of skew the numbers a little bit and sort of take the focus off of the everyday giver. But it'll be interesting just to track and see how that turns out this year.
Did she have any insight as to what sectors or what causes are being most contributed to now?
That I don't. I mean, last year it was food banks and, human service kinds of organizations because people were, hurting that way. It'll be interesting to see if that's the same this year.
Right.
There's still lots of people who go to bed at night not knowing where their meals are going to come from the next day.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's something that we need to keep in mind, I think, as we provide services and opportunities for people to give. Absolutely. Is to realize that we're actually providing a service for real people with real needs.
Yeah.
Well, when we have a long pause, is it time for us to sign off and pick this up again next week?
That sounds great. This was a good chat. And everyone stay tuned for next week. We'll announce in the Discord and on Twitter the topic of next week's conversation. If you have any ideas for a topic, or if you want to share something that you see happening, would be more than welcome would be more than happy to welcome you to kind of co-host with us to present, or if you have something that you want us to look into and research, we can look into that and find somebody who might be able to speak on that topic and bring it out. And we're hoping to keep recording these and sharing them after the fact as well. But nothing can match meeting in the metaverse. So definitely, if you're free Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time, definitely look for us here in our space here in the metaverse. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Art.